Hello and welcome to another episode of 2P
Podcast.
Yes. I'm Shubhangi
I am Naina.
and we are here to talk about a ton of things. So, if you're somebody who's interested in music,
Books,
anything haunted,
creepy stories,
sports,
and anything in between.
yeah, even drafts,
Yes.
we are the people. Because we have similar interests, even books and cartoons and manga, a lot of niche interests. So yeah, if you're interested in listening to any of those topics or listening to, hear us speak about the topics, this is the podcast for you. If you want something playing in the background while you carry out your chores, this is the podcast. Or if you are traveling and want somebody to accompany you, we are right here. So 2B Podcast is all about helping you enjoy your time while we ensure that you're not alone. Today we have something really interesting and a tad bit creepy. So in the last episode, we were talking about how I got pretty much freaked out by the metro and how she has had experience at the metros. Right. Today we're going to talk about another experience that stems from my personal experience, but this time we're going to take it international. And we're going to talk about one of the places that I first came across when I was a kid, but I'm still pretty much really into getting to know about all the tales and lores about this place. So today, the topic is
Graveyards.
Yes. We're going to talk about graveyards and cemeteries and some of the most haunted ones across the world. Yes. So without further ado, let's get started for today's episode because I am really excited and we have a lot of things to talk about. Ranging from stuff that we already know and is a part of like the common lores to stuff that we might not have heard about, and as always, some of the stories from Reddit to bring a tad bit of reality to the stories that we talk about. So, there's different places in the world where when we walk, the air feels heavy. We feel like we're being followed, or perhaps we just saw something in the corner of the eye, but the moment we turn around, there's no one. One such place, needless to say, are
Graveyards.
Now, if you're somebody who, like me, has been wondering as to what is a graveyard and how is it different from a cemetery, and can we use the both words interchangeably? Like, the difference between the two places is the fact that if they're connected to a church or not.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about this.
Right.
Yes.
So, the primary distinction would be like graveyard is located on the grounds and managed by a church.
Okay.
Cemetery would be independent spaces. While they both...
I thought it was the opposite.
Yeah. I can see how that, the formal and the informal tone of it, right? Yeah, that's standard. Well, I understand. So, yes.
Yeah, like people would think that cemetery something
Cemetery sounds more formal.
Exactly, something associated with the church would not name something
Like graveyard.
It sounds really crude.
Yeah, and
especially
it's like very
for
informal, very informal, like graveyard. Like,
right.
That is exactly what it means. A yard for the graves. But yeah, that does sound very rude. So yeah, whenever we're talking about spaces where those that have already crossed beyond the living realm rest, it is bound to be that some stay behind or some wish to make a presence, despite not being a part of the claim that we perhaps exist on. So we're going to talk about such places and why they are valuable. Cemeteries and graveyards are spaces that are essentially designed to remember those that we cherish. And many believe that these are not only places where people rest, but also a graveyard where a lot of memories are made. With people who have passed on, but we still do not want them to still be away or gone. So there's times where people go to seek comfort, there's times where people go to talk to their dear ones. The other times, people just have experiences when they were there or in the vicinity of this place. So you never know what you might be faced with when you're in a place that holds much gravity. Various countries and cultures have different beliefs and stories when it comes to paranormal encounters. There's legends that terrify people and have them, avoid the space when it's dark. The other spaces intrigue people and draw people and attention to such areas. So, it can be truth, it can be the fear, or it can be the hope. We never know. However, there is always a certain fascination. So, whenever we're discussing one of the most well-known cemeteries, this is the one that has
personal favorite.
Yes, this is the one that I came across when I was a kid and have been really, really into getting to know more of, because I adore the architecture and the sculpting and the art that is a part of what makes the cemetery what it is. Highgate Cemetery in London, England. It was known as one of the most haunting cemeteries in the world. And what stands out is its Gothic architecture. Like, you cannot look over the fact that it is not only eerie and
it's beautiful.
Yeah, kind of pressing on you, but it's also pretty beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's airy but beautiful.
Yes, there's such contradicting things to be together.
There's a word for that, don't there?
Yeah, I guess there is. You look at it. So, what is it all about? The cemetery gained international fame and attention in the 1970s because it is said that it has its own resident vampire.
Yeah?
Yes. The Highgate vampire.
Wait, there's a vampire?
Yes.
In the cemetery?
There's paranormal happenings, yes. But the most happening aspect of London Highgate is the Highgate vampire.
Wow. Okay, that was not what I was expecting.
Yes,
I was expecting a lot of things was not a vampire.
Yes, exactly. And like people have claimed that they have seen tall shadowy figures there. Like,
but how? Why? Okay, tall shadowy figures, I get it. But why a vampire? Like, did someone get blood gets sucked or what? Why a vampire?
Like, the entity that they saw closely resembles what we'd call a vampire. Like, the gait of it, the presence of it, the feeling of it.
Long teeth?
Nobody went close to see a heat. It was like, yeah. We'll get into that. We have a more in-depth dive for that. But for now, let's tell you about the overview. Okay. So we have the vampire legend. Then there's like shadowy figures, glowing eyes. This is like a very pre-Twilight version of how vampires are
exactly.
Like pale, long, brooding, shiny eyes. You'll not be able to see them in mirrors, kind of an approach.
Okay, fine. I'm very skeptical here, but okay.
Yeah, there's enough reasons to be skeptical, but it's really fun
it's
to,
like skeptical as in the sense, I'm not sure if it's a vampire or it's just a normal ghost. That's my skepticism.
Oh, your skepticism is paranormal versus supernatural.
Exactly. That is my skepticism. Nice. It could be just a normal ghost. You know, that poor ghost is getting confused as a vampire.
PR for the normal ghost, but make them vampire.
Right, exactly.
Make them Twilight Squad. My God, people are gonna be after me with pitchforks after this comment. Please don't. That is not my intention. I'm not Twilightifying a ghost. People are. Yes. So what are the other reports that we see in this area? Other reports say that people have heard whispers. There's a feeling of, like invisible presence pressing upon people. They feel like somebody is following them. Like sudden temperature drops. Again, a lot of things which are common with this side.
Exactly. Which is why I'm skeptical about the fact that it's a vampire is just a normal ghost. And also given the fact that you're in a graveyard.
True.
It's a cemetery, right?
You'd expect like a ghost would be more probable than a vampire.
Right, exactly.
But the thing is like, there has been this stigma for the longest time. The earliest tales of vampires came from people who died and then resurrected. So the belief is like a lot of people who were buried here had the opportunity to resurrect, and one of them did, and still stays. So it's like their mausoleum or their grave or their tomb is still here, and they resurrect and they travel those grounds and then they come back because this is their last resting place. So hence like the correlation of it, because that is where the story stemmed from, the actual Gothic tales of non-dead or immortal living beings who resided in coffins or slept in coffins and coffins.
Yeah, makes sense. Because they had the Hotel
Transylvania. OG Dracula Lord.
OG Dracula Lord.
So yes.
Okay, I was about to say
It'll come back when you wait. So then, apart from these presences, there have been a lot of temperature drops, a lot of sightings, people seeing eerie figures. There's enough photographic lore, there's people hearing things. Paranormal investigators have flocked to the space to gather more evidence on what it is that they have experienced, or what it is about people, facing something supernatural here that keeps them aware and keeps them to be there.
To be honest, can you imagine a cemetery this old? So it does have a lot of energy stored up and pent up in it. It would be weird.
So you're saying it's old? It deals with something which is very grave, resting people, like final moments of people. People
and that not from right now. It has been doing it for ages.
And it has been like piling up and collecting all of that energy, all of those emotions.
The resentment.
So it will be an anchor for a lot of things.
So imagine going there and not feeling weird. Like, I will not be able to relate. Like, you will go step into a place like that and feel the pressure.
Yeah, you feel obvious. Like there is somebody present.
Exactly. Because that kind of place tends to have.
And with a history,
as such. Exactly. Just such intense history.
It has seen a lot of years.
Right, exactly. It is bound to have such.
So even today, visitors report that they have a strange feeling, they have unexplained encounters, and even Highgate's, the entire space, like, in which it exists. The atmosphere is such that you feel like there is something.
And we saw the architecture when we were looking at it.
Absolutely. To me, it's really beautiful.
It's beautiful, but the thing is, I can definitely understand
why people will be scared.
Exactly, because
like when you're seeing such arches and you're seeing such pillars, you're seeing the, statues, it feels very imposing in itself. And specifically when they're like that covered with greenery, you go there on the right day at the right time and there is reason for you to be scared.
Right.
Like the atmosphere calls for one to be scared. It is that eerie, it is that grim. So, yeah.
Definitely.
For it. Now, if we're talking about other cemeteries, we are going to Kansas now. We have the Skull Cemetery. It carries a terrifying reputation because, people have been scared to the point where they refer to it as the gates of.
Oh God. Okay, so there should be a good reason behind that.
Yes. Local legends say that demonic entities roam this place. The devil himself appears twice a year on Halloween and on the spring equinox. Strange lights are common and they dwell through the darkness. Ghostly apparitions are almost a daily occurrence and appear unexpected in front of you. Visitors hear whispers even when they have nobody around. And the cemetery's reputation is preceding, the kind of experience that people have. So a lot of people go in scared. And there's a lot of urban legends in and around the area which has also been related to this cemetery. So it has secured itself a space given the amount of experiences people have had. And people try to
associating it with the devil himself.
Yes. There are like 2 days. Halloween, spring equinox. Do not visit this place.
Which makes it even more curious.
Because they're so specific about it.
At least not on Halloween. Just definitely not on Halloween. But someday.
You're like, definitely not on Halloween?
Definitely not on Halloween. I think every single country, every single culture has something on Halloween.
Exactly.
Something similar to Halloween.
It's all about wheels being thin and things traversing from one place to the other.
Right, exactly. Even in our culture, we have something very similar to Halloween. Differences
that just a week or 2 prior to it.
During Kali Puja. That was during Kali Puja.
Yeah, Kali Puja and Diwali. True. Diwali.
Exactly. During those times, it is said that is considered like a Halloween.
Wheel. The wheel between 2 planes is really thin, so the ancestors are able to reach out, and our words reach out to them very easily.
Yes.
So yes, every culture, even recently we were talking about one, right, where they were like lighting fires. They celebrated for an entire month.
Oh, I think so.
There is something of the sort. I cannot exactly recall the name, but we were talking about that. Now, what do we have next? So now we are going to Paris, France. Père Lachaise Cemetery.
We're skipping continents right now.
Yes, we're jumping from places to places because well-known places deserve to be, mentioned, and then we're going to talk about their stories. So this one has a haunting history and a tragic past.
Oh.
However, this place also has really elaborate tombs and amazing sculptures, and it is like
you cannot expect anything less from Paris.
Sure. It has like that aesthetic appeal.
Right, exactly.
So people here literally visit the place to see the tombs and the famous graves. Like individual graves here are well known because, there's always this thing from the olden days. The more that they love their people who they're laying to rest, the more elaborate they want their memory to be. Exactly. So the more beautiful it will be. That is what has been drawing attention to this place. Like people go in for the beauty and come out spooked. Or they go for the spook and they come out in. Right. 2 sides of the same coin. Beauty and spooks. So what is it that is so terrifying about the history? So the legend here says that there's a mysterious woman that like is dressed entirely in black who roams the grounds of this cemetery. It is reported very frequently, and it says that she mourns the passing of her husband endlessly. So he passed under mysterious circumstances. So it was abrupt, it was sudden, and she still believes it.
So this question. Is it her tombstone that is there in the graveyard or her husband's or both of them?
I'm not sure if she's also buried there, but her husband sure is. So they see her grieving and mourning.
Which is why she is in black clothes.
Right. Like the morning attire. So the witnesses here say that they hear whispers near Jim Morrison's grave as well. So a very specific place to be. And they experience unexplained touches while walking through isolated pathways. And reading this gave me goosebumps because imagine the amount of energy that you would have to, channel through to be reaching out to the people for them to hear the whispers and to feel the touch.
I mean, even more than whispers, it is the touch.
You'd never expect. If you turn around and there's nobody, I'd be spooked, hightailing out.
Remember the story I told you? Yes. That is creepy, the amount of, it just made me realize.
We'll discuss that at the end of the episode today because she spooked me recently.
Because it just made me realize the amount of energy that needs to be
to be channeled through.
Actually, so that a living person can feel.
Insane.
Why would someone do that?
To spook others. They were just having their own ghostly fun. We get scared, that's our mood. Not theirs. Now, the next one. Now we're going to Scotland. We have the Greyfriars Kirkyard. Another cemetery which has a very, very rich history. And equally well known for the amount of paranormal activities that people face in its, vicinity and in the space itself. The graveyard is most notoriously known for the Mackenzie poltergeist. If you do not know what a poltergeist is, it's like an entity or a spirit which loves to be mischievous, displaces things, breaks things, spooks people, kind of has its own fun while keeping people on their toes, kind of an entity. And the spirit is thought to be that of Sir George Mackenzie, a 17th century judge known for brutally persecuting religious prisoners.
Not a good question.
Visitors to the area surrounding his mausoleum have reported scratches appearing on their bodies, sudden dizziness, violent pushes, and unseen forces. Overwhelming amount of terror. The stories have become increasingly more disturbing ever since. After a homeless man disturbed Mackenzie's tomb in the late 1990s, and this led on to a triggered surge of paranormal incidents that continue till date. Why would they do that? Why disturb somebody who has been disturbing others? For it to be provoked and only disturb others more.
It's just till date.
Till date, yes, till date. So they're still pissed till today. Now we're going to Chicago.
Jumping.
Yes. So if we're talking about Bachelor's Grove Cemetery near Chicago, the place has a reputation of being one of America's most haunted graveyards. It is small and abandoned, but is well known among those that chase after the thrill of ghost hunting and paranormal. It offers a lot of sighting and opportunities for people to collect evidence these days. Witnesses have taken photographs, they have seen glowing figures, there have been strange lights, orbs, shadowy figures, and people standing in the graves. One of the most famous entities of this space is known as the Lady in White. So while there have been numerous tales of ladies in different garbs, after the garbs that they are in, the color of the garbs that they are in, from the Lady in White to the Lady in Black to the Lady in Blue to the Lady in Red. I think we're going to make an episode of the various ladies in different colored garbs and the different places that they still roam around in. But this place in itself has its own Lady in White. A ghostly woman who roams the graveyard carrying an infant. Well, that's heartbreaking. She is the cemetery's most well-known spirit, and people believe that she has been on the lookout for her missing child, while the others believe that she is trapped in between worlds and unable to leave the cemetery behind.
That is even more sadder than
Yeah, all of it is heartbreaking in her aspect. It's very sad. Right. Now we talk about Argentina. We have the La Recoleta Cemetery in Buenos Aires, Argentina. However, this one is kind of, yet again, prepare your tissues because this is kind of sad. Like, this
now
is...
you're the one who's picking sad stories.
Yeah, kind of. Sorry about that. Am I? Not really. But okay. Now, when I say that the story is sad, it's more of an unfortunate kind of sad because we were not expecting, like, this is not malicious intent. This is kind of thing that happened.
Right.
So the story goes, or around this place mostly goes like, there's this young girl who was called Rufina, and she was declared dead by mistake and buried alive.
Ah, okay.
So days later, when, like people discovered her coffin, it was discovered that there was crash marks inside the coffin, indicating that somehow within the timeline of her being buried and then being found again, she awoke and desperately attempted to flee. However, she could not succeed in that. And today when people visit the place, they hear knocking and sound in and near around her tomb. People claim that they have seen the spirit of a terrified young woman wandering silently around the mausoleum. That was the case.
This kind of ghost stories came up a lot, remember?
Right.
So many stories came up along with the same. I think this happened a lot in, like, when they were in the olden times.
Misdiagnosing me.
To the point that they had to set up a bell. In olden cemeteries, remember the bell system?
Right. You'd be ringing the bell from the base.
Exactly. It was tied up to the wrist so that if they did wake up, the cemetery owner, like the guard who was in the cemetery, they would know that someone has woken up and they would open and let the person out.
And now that you remind me, I believe that there's a lore of some particular cemetery where the person buried inside is dead. But there is still the phantom ringing of the bell till day in the cemetery. You reminded me of a very good point. Like, that is a really well-known practice.
Right. It was a very well-known practice. It was because it happened a lot. Because again, misdiagnosis was a huge thing back then, and the doctors did not realize. I think. Remember the first episode of Supernatural or something like that? It was very similar to this. First or second episode of Supernatural was something very similar.
Was it? All I remember is like Sammy, Dad is not home. Whenever you tell me about Supernatural, I get go.
Nah. There was something along this line. I think I remember watching a show with the exact same storyline.
When we have a lot of our viewers, let's launch our channel, like a Patreon, and we sit down and we watch Supernatural season by season. Who's interested? People, let us know.
Listen, was it Supernatural? Was it some other? I really don't know.
Can be. The amount of Supernatural shows that we have watched just for the sake of it and entertainment.
Right, exactly. It was a show, and like the entire thing was based on the fact that the little girl was still not happy and she was not exactly satisfied. So the spirit came back.
I don't think that's Supernatural. I don't remember any of those episodes. But possibly.
Which one was it? Which one did I see?
We'll find that. If you already know, drop it in comments.
Swear I forgot.
Now we'll be moving on to the listener stories. I believe we have 4 stories today. And these are kind of long. So if it gets too long, we have a part 2. Join us for the second part.